Hi everybody, this is Esme and welcome back to another video. So today is a really cute one because we're coming up to Duke and I's 1 year anniversary. Yes, on the 12th of August 2021 we rehomed Duke, but actually I've known Duke a little bit longer than that, and I thought in today's video for our sort of 1 year anniversary we'd go over sort of Duke's story, maybe for you guys that are new for the channel, but also all of the fun things that we've got up to over a year. And I was looking back at all my old videos from the past year with Duke, and we have actually done a lot of things, especially as you guys know that Duke isn't a horse that's ridden, but it goes to show that even if your horse can't be ridden for whatever reason, you can still have a lot of fun with them, and we have definitely bonded a lot. So to celebrate my 1 year anniversary with Duke, we have actually made some t-shirts to raise money for World Horse Welfare. So these are limited edition Duke t-shirts, and obviously the proceeds are going to World Horse Welfare. They'll be on sale on the Pony Mag shop. I'll leave some links in the description below if you'd like to check them out. But anyway, let's get into today's video. We actually first met Duke back in June 2021, and we were at World Horse Welfare filming with them. Had so much fun meeting all the ponies and seeing all the incredible work that they do, and I've always wanted to rehome a horse. It's something I've always wanted to do, and it kind of came to the time where I had room for an extra pony or horse in my life, and we were sort of thinking about it. It was one of those things that was kind of like at the back of my head, but it wasn't like we were going there seriously to go and rehome a horse. We were going there to film. That was the main priority of the day. And anyway, we were filming in this big field, and then this little fluffy grey Welsh thing came running up to us, me and my camera operator, and Duke absolutely loved the camera, got right up in the camera, and we were just like, oh my goodness, he is adorable. We both absolutely fell in love with him, and they were like, well, he does need a home. And as much as we were sort of joking about it, by the end of the day we just could not stop thinking about this cute little grey pony. And a lot of people ask me if we got Duke because he's a grey. No, we got him because it was almost like he chose us. He literally came right up to us, he was like, yep, you're my humans. So anyway, then we went, a month later, we went back, filled out all our paperwork. I had to send them lots of videos as well to show them that I can care for horses and handle horses. And I also had to do a lot more other things because obviously Duke, when we got him, he was a yearling. He'd just turned 1, I believe. So now he's just turned 2. So for everyone asking how old Duke is, he is now 2. Because Duke is a young horse, they wanted someone who had experience with handling young horses, which I do have. So I had to go up there, do some handling training with him to make sure that we were the right humans for him, because obviously that's very important when you're rehoming a horse. Something a lot of people don't actually probably know is that I technically don't own Duke. Duke is owned by World Horse Welfare, so if for whatever reason I become ill and I can't look after him, or I don't look after him properly, then they can take him back and make sure that he goes to another new home that's at the best level possible for him. But anyway, as you can see, he's just chilling down here with some haylage, living his best life. He's sort of free range at the moment we kind of have like a crew yard set up like this, a bit like World Horse Welfare. But anyway, back to rehoming day. So we went and saw him, gave him a little groom, talked to his past handler that was kind of like his mum, his human mum, because the story behind Duke is that he was abandoned as a foal a few days old on a Welsh mountainside. He was dumped with somebody else's horses and they didn't know where he came from, and so he was bottle fed and has been hand reared. So that's good because he loves humans, and sometimes he thinks he is a human because he is quite small. So with the handling training that I did do with World Horse Welfare was to make sure that yes, he's small, but he still needs to have ground manners. A lot of small horses, people think it's funny and they get away with really bad manners, and you still, just because he's small, I need to handle him like he's a 17-hand stallion. So that's what I like to think. So we've done lots of training together over the year, haven't we, May? You've progressed a lot in lots of different things. But yeah, so it seems so wild to think that we've had him a year, because it honestly feels like we've had him forever. So yeah, it wasn't that long, it was, yeah, a year ago that he first met Mickey and Casper and Joey, and I just remember when they came and saw him, they all kind of crowded round in this big circle over the fence and was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Is this even a horse? This thing is tiny. But no, Duke and Mickey very quickly became the best of friends, and I feel like Duke has just been so good for Mickey in general, because obviously Mickey is sort of, I think of him as kind of like a really older brother, because obviously Mickey's getting quite old now, but it's been so nice for Mickey to have like a little companion or a little friend, and they both every morning go for zoomies out in the field, have a little run around, and it's been really good for keeping Mickey exercised as well, especially with all of Mickey's like health problems and things. But no, those two are the best of friends. Like they'll share food, haylage, everything, and they are always together in the field. It's so cute when you see them sort of grooming each other. But anyway, quickly Duke settled in really well. We did lots of handling, if that was grooming, getting him used to being groomed in different areas. We did lots of work in the school. Something that we were really working on with Duke is that sometimes when we first got him, he would just stop, and it took a while for him to sort of trust you to walk on forward, especially if there was something maybe spooky or something he hadn't seen before. He would just kind of plant his hooves down and be like, I don't want to walk forward. So that was something that we did a lot of work on in the school with our handling, and he doesn't really do that anymore. He is pretty much the opposite. He wants to zoom everywhere. So after that, it was then time for Duke to have his first ever stable. Now at World Horse Welfare, he was used to being out in the field and also in a crew yard sort of area, a bit like we're in now. I call it the hard standing, where basically it's a concrete surface that's sort of penned in, but obviously they have access to shavings and things like that. But it was time for Duke's first ever stable, so before he would kind of be in this area and also out in the field. And Duke was not a fan of being in a stable. He was actually really good travelling up in the horse box. Travelling in a horse box he's fine with, and obviously World Horse Welfare did a lot of really good training with him to get used to travelling and get used to being in a stable. But in a stable was one of the things on his list that he wasn't the best at. The first time I put him in a stable, he literally put his legs over and tried to sort of climb out. He didn't climb out, but he just kind of, he was like almost like a dog. He just had his front hooves rested over, and I was like, oh my goodness, this horse, what are we going to do? Not what are we going to do with him, because I was like, it'll be fine, we'll do some training with him, we'll make it a safe place, and that's what we did. So here you guys can see behind me is Duke's stable. This used to be a storage room when we had all of the rugs and all of the haylage, so I had a lot of clearing out to do to get it ready for Duke. So we put lots of nice shavings in, rubber matting, and I never actually shut him in there. After putting him in Mickey's stable once and him freaking out, I was like, okay, we've got a lot of work to do. So I would never put him in there or force him to go in there. What I would do is I'd just make sure that he had his food in there. So yes, he would be around the sort of crew yard area, but I wanted it so he would go in because he wanted to. So every morning and every evening he started having his breakfast and his dinner in there, and he really associated it as a happy and positive place. And I think seeing the other horses next to him doing their sort of daily routine, going in their stables at night, going out in the morning, I think he really started to feel really safe and happy, and this kind of felt like his home. The night where I knew that, you know, it was a happy place for him was when I woke up one morning, I came down, Duke was in his stable, he got up and he'd been lying in his stable and had shavings all over him, absolutely adorable. And then slowly we started eventually shutting Duke in at night. At first we'd shut him in there for a little bit, maybe for like a few minutes while we were on the yard, so we could check up on him and make sure that he was okay. Then it would be for a few hours, and then we left the hours longer and longer until he had his first ever overnight in his stable as a big boy, and he was honestly so good. And I feel like working with a young horse, you just have to do things very slowly without pushing them out of their comfort zone too much, and that's what we've done with Duke. And now he is such a good boy, he loves his stable, and he's very much used to the routine that we have here on the yard. Hey Duke! But also Duke was part of lots of different videos as well. He did his first ever food battle that, I can't lie, he wasn't quite a natural with. He was a little bit confused. I think a lot of the different food toys he'd never really seen before, especially the Brick of Wonder, the Battle Ball, apple bobbing I think he struggled with, because obviously he was only just 1, and I think he found it a little bit difficult to chew things such as apples that were a little bit bigger, because he is a small little guy. But no, he's doing really well, and I feel like we need to do another food battle this year, where I feel like he's had some training in the last year, so hopefully he will do a little bit better than last time. But I feel like Duke in general has just grown up so much. Like, he's really come out of his shell, and you can really start to see his personality a little bit more. And we especially saw that when we started doing stable talk videos, where I'd be chatting outside Mickey's stable, Duke would kind of be free range, and every now and again would pop in and let everyone know that he was there, if it was by having like little scratchies from me, or rubbing his bum against me, or doing goodness knows what. But he would like to make himself known at times, and you know, wanted to be the star of the show as well, which you are. You know, you've got a whole video all about you today, hey Duke. I think he's more interested in the haylage though today, I can't lie. We also set up a new field shelter for Mickey and Duke in their field. Oh, look at that! Look at all this haylage, Duke. I'm gonna have to stand up. We also set up Mickey and Duke's field shelter in their paddock, so we put some rubber matting in and also a bit of shavings so they can chill in there. And Duke in the winter didn't really like going in the field shelter that much. I think it's because he absolutely loves the rain and loves it when it's muddy. He is definitely a Welsh pony at heart and would zoom around in the mud, loves that. When it rains, that is his favourite weather. He likes to get absolutely soaked. But in the summer, especially as it's been so hot recently, he loves to go in the field shelter in the shade. That's like his little happy place. Especially he goes for like a little midday snooze in there sometimes. We also did lots more training with Duke. We did some trotting poles for the first time. That was really fun. I think that was in my Instagram Controls My Life video. We also did just going around some poles in general. And it was around that time that after I did trotting poles and obstacle courses and things like that with him, I think we did some obstacle courses with him too in a brother versus sister challenge video, which he was so good at and absolutely loved so much. He really found his need for speed, and then when I started doing training with him in the school, it was more getting him to not find it the most exciting thing in the world, which, you know, Duke, we love your enthusiasm, but you've got to contain it sometimes. You can't be a wild child. So also like doing like a 20-meter circle, he would get really excited and want to zoom off. So making sure that he was walking at a nice pace and not going too fast, because you just wanted to zoom, you just wanted to trot and canter. Hey, mister. So that was really good enrichment for him, and he absolutely loves it. I also did a challenge Esme Liberty, so I've been practicing a little bit of Liberty with him recently, which he has absolutely been loving, and obviously has been great for our bond together as well. Hasn't it, mister? Duke also had his first ever Christmas with a home with us, which was absolutely adorable. We dressed him up with a bit of tinsel around him. Again, was really good desensitization practice, putting tinsel around him, and he was so good. We did a little photo shoot as well, which he loved. He loved all the attention, all the treats, and all the presents as well. Also in our training sessions, we started doing a bit more desensitization training with him, so I put some fillers out. We did a photo shoot with Pony Magazine where I was holding an umbrella, which obviously can be a very scary object for horses, and he was such a good boy, obviously doing everything very gently, not pushing him out of his comfort zone. We also measured him at the beginning of the year as well to finally find out how tall he is. I'd say he's pretty much fully grown now. I don't think he's going to grow much taller, because he hasn't actually, I don't think he's really grown much since over the year that we've had him. And when we measured him, he was a little bit, he wasn't the biggest fan of the measuring stick that I made. So again, took everything nice and slow, nice and gentle. You have to have a lot of patience when working with young horses, and eventually we got there and managed to measure him. So he is around 10-1 hands, so he's just a little baby. He's so small. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be growing into a big old pony anytime soon, hey Duke. We also did a taste challenge with him, and can't lie, he didn't really like many of the foods, especially the celery. He was very sassy with that, you know, as soon as that got in his mouth, he spat that out. Not a big fan of celery, unlike Joey, who absolutely loved it. We also around that time had a horrible storm in the UK where it was so windy, so I spent a lot of the time up at the yard with the horses to make sure that they were all okay. And while I was mucking everyone out, I let Duke go free range to have a little wander around, and oh my goodness, this is when I really realised, you know, that he can be a little bit cheeky. He was playing with like Casper's bucket. When I was talking to the camera, he actually managed to turn the lights on. So that was one of the reasons why we had to really train him to start going in the stable, because during the middle of the night, he would go round and turn everyone's lights on because he could reach it. So he is a cheeky little guy, but we love him. But yeah, also over the spring, I did my challenge Esme Liberty. So we started doing a little bit of Liberty with him, which he absolutely loves. And pretty much that is everything that we have done with Duke. As you guys know, he had his first ever bath this summer where we've had some really hot weather, and he was really good at that, especially going in the wash bay as well, because he wasn't too used to that before. Oh, Duke, you've got a massive bit of, oh, the haylage has fallen down. He had like a little bit of haylage stuck behind his ear. He looked like an old farmer boy. Hey? But yeah, as you can see, Duke is doing really well at the moment, and over the past year he has really come out of his shell, and he has been such a good boy recently, especially with our training in the school and things. And often I get asked so many questions, what am I going to do with Duke? Now the thing is, he is obviously still a baby, he's only just turned 2, and I have no plans obviously to ride him myself. I'm way too big for him. I will crush him. Also, if I do anything like that, I have to message Wild Horse Welfare with them first, just to make sure that, you know, obviously we need to see what his conformation's like when he's older. It would maybe be fun to do a few showing shows, just to get him out to places, see new things, which will obviously be a really good experience for him. Nice little chilled local shows though, nothing fancy. Also, I think it'll be fun to continue doing some Liberty and trick training with him. I think that'll be really good fun, but honestly for me it's just whatever Duke enjoys. Obviously I want to give him the best possible life he can have, and if that's doing what he enjoys, I'm happy with that, you know. It would be maybe fun, just an idea, nothing is set in stone, because if Duke hates it, I'm not going to force him to do anything he doesn't want to do, but it would be cute to maybe get a little horse and cart for him. Obviously if he's strong enough and his conformation when he's older is good enough for that, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the future. But so far I have had such an incredible year owning this little guy, and I honestly cannot imagine life without him. So that is pretty much the video for today, guys. If you have any more questions about Duke that you want to know, leave them below in the comments. Also, let me know, when do you think Duke will white out? Because obviously he's a grey, and one day he will probably go as white as Casper, and I feel like he's got pretty light so far over the last year. So let me know in the comments when you think he's going to be fully white. Same for Joey actually. Joey stayed very dark though, so I've been lucky with that. And luckily Duke's small, like it did not take me long to clean him. That's the one pro of having a tiny pony. They don't have much to them, so there isn't much to clean. But anyway, I'll leave some links in the description below again if you would like to check out the Duke t-shirts. Again, the proceeds for that will be going to Wild Horse Welfare. I'll also leave some links to Wild Horse Welfare down below if you'd like to find out more information about them, or if you want to rehome a pony or a horse. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're new or have not done so already, please like and subscribe, as it really does help me out and I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Oh, Duke, you have so much haylage in your forelock, mister. You are adorable, aren't you? You are so cute.